Why for some reason you changed your face? No. Get back to normal.
I changed my face.
You're good, you're good. Okay. It's the final race of 2019, and race number 7 of the Core League Season 2 heads to the Motor City at one of the fastest tracks in the league. Welcome to Core On MDK's coverage of the MDKBase.com 200 from the Michigan International Speedway in Brooklyn, Michigan. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Core On MDK pre-race show. I am host Jack Krause. Thank you so much for joining us for tonight's coverage of the MDKBase.com 200. Joining me, as always, is the 2019 Summer Showdown champion. It is Cody Workman. He is back with us. How you doing, Cody?
Back home. I am back in my beautiful home state of Illinois. It's actually not that cold for winter right now, but yes, I am in my residence, not my vacation residence, my home residence. I apologize in advance. I'm pretty congested, as it may sound for a bit. I've been pretty sick the past couple of days, but it's Michigan tonight, baby. Fast track, and I'm excited to call you action with you.
Yeah, it should be very, very fun to see what happens here tonight. All right, so we just got a quick update from the entry list. Originally, it was 13 that were supposed to be competing in tonight's event, as you saw from the Core Twitter page last night. However, we have some news. Rusty Walrus will not be competing tonight, so it's been shrinking down to 12. Taking a look now at the entry list. Michael Kosey Jr. in the 00 car. Ray Jacobs makes his second start this season in the 06 car. The 1 car of Brian Pasternak, the 8 of Joey Stone, who won the All-Star race not last Thursday, on Thursday, I should say. The 22 car, Brendan Littell. The 25 of Darian Gilliam. The 28 of Cody Hicken. The 38 of Jake Baskinger. 59 car, Rusty Walrus, just cross that name out right there. The 77 car, Davin Cornelius. The 85 of Trey Normal. The 88 of Jarrett Lundberg. And the 95 of Ryan Labonte. Now, let's take a quick look at the point standings. Like I said on Thursday, it was a week off break. So, yeah, let's take a look at the standings. Davin Cornelius has a 5-point advantage over second place driver Brian Pasternak. Third place is Michael Kosey Jr. Fourth is the 85 car of Trey Normal. Fifth is the 25 car of Darian Gilliam. Sixth is the 88 car of Jarrett Lundberg. Seventh is the 8 of Joey Stone, who gains 4 spots. He has been on a roll the past couple of weeks. 8th place is Brendan Littell. 9th is Joseph Lombard. He will not be participating in tonight's event, so he's going to drop a lot in the point standings. 10th is Cody Hicken. 11th is Rusty Walrus. 12th is Dale Reynolds. 13th is Ed Soundhead. 14th is Michael Marutz. 15th is Jake Baskinger. 16th is Jonathan Ramos. 17th is Ryan Labonte. And rounding out the field, 18th in points, 79 points behind, is the 06 car of Cody Workman. All right, so even though...
I'm racing?
What?
I didn't think I was racing.
Wait, what? Did I say Cody Workman?
Yes.
Oh shoot, Ray
Yes, you
Jacobs.
said
My
that.
bad. My bad. My bad. Well,
Wow.
my bad. Um,
Wow.
well, you made me lose my question. What was I about to say? I forgot my question. Shoot. Okay. What should we expect for tonight's event, and who are the drivers you're looking out for?
Well, I mean, of course, I think everybody is talking about, hey, the hottest guy on the circuit right now is Sloppy Joe. Yeah, he finally got his first career, not his first career run, but his first win of the season during our last points paying event, which was at Kansas. But also last week he won the All Star event, and even though it is a non-points event and it's all for more or less bragging rights and for money, it's still whenever you do well, that's just going to build your momentum and your confidence. But the one guy that I've really been watching, and he has done a phenomenal job at turning his season around, and that is Trey Normile, aka Raw Gator. He was about what was it, fifth after the fourth race of the season. He was all the way back in 12th in points. He's now up to fourth,
Yeah.
and that's just in two races. And that was the benefit of having a strong second place finish at Martinsville, and also he had, I believe, a fourth place finish at Kansas as well. And also, like the weeks before that too, he had a decent finish at Homestead, and he had great speed at Canadian Tire as well before he lagged out. So before, like, about a couple races ago, I would have said, "Oh, this may not be his year," but he's done a phenomenal job of turning it around, and he is instantly changed himself as a person to really be talking about here, the midway point through the season.
All right, so now in Michigan, it's a 2 mile bank oval. It's very, very fast. Now with the small field, and last year, if you guys watched the core league, there was it was more of a farce to say the least, with a bunch of wrecks happening so much that the race had to be restarted completely. With it being a small field, and now these drivers are having a lot more experience, what do you expect to see here in tonight's 100 lap event?
Oh, a lot better, honestly. I mean, last year too, Michigan, I believe it was our second race of the season to that point. And still, it was the first time we were still everyone was still really getting used to each other, racing on the racetrack, and just getting to know each other more, like just personally in general. So now, I mean, even though we do have some new guys here, like drive through, like Jake Bassinger, the most of the guys here have now been racing with each other for now over a year. And on top of that, going into these races as well, admins have been really adamant on making sure drivers have plenty of practice time. They're attending practice sessions, and also, they're not pulling, I guess, what we would say clown moves, where we would have to have, like worst case scenario, restart a race. So tonight should definitely be night and day different than Michigan from last year.
Absolutely. Now, next question is, with that, who are the drivers that you think are going to shine at Michigan? It's the first time you've ever been to a track like this. You could look at drivers like maybe Joey Stone, who has been running really well in the mile and a half. You could look at a drive through who won at Homestead, or a driver like Trey Norma, who has, as of late, been coming up through the point standings. Who do you have your eyes on here tonight?
Well, funny enough, all the guys I'm looking on, they're in my Power Five, and while we're on the top of that, we'll just run down the list real quick. So obviously, number one, you can't ignore the fact Sloppy Joe. He is on an absolute tear right now, um, and it wasn't just his win from last week that put him up there, just from Kansas, but also consistently since he's been able to show up, even though he missed those first two races of the season. Uh, he has week in and week out had a race winning contention car, so you can't ignore that. Um, Number two, I have Wind Vow. So I can hear a little bit of an echo. So number two, I have Wind Vow. Um, he done a really phenomenal job. Like I think last week at Kansas, that was the first race that he did not win that he participated in since like beginning of the year, other than Daytona, because he missed a couple of races in the beginning of the season, but he ran Richmond. No, yeah, he ran Richmond and he won that. The next race that he ran was Martinsville. He won that, and then Kansas. He was the only person that could really keep pace with Sloppy Joe. Only reason I have him below Sloppy is just because he's been absent a little bit longer than he has, but those two should really be fighting out for this points battle as they're both kind of in different circumstances. Number three, I have Drive Through. He was number one for a bit, but just kind of his like, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a slump, but you know, he went from going 2 wins in a row to now kind of like mid, like outside part of the top three, top five.
You can say his
So
momentum has slowed down.
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Like not terrible, but he's still a race winning contender week in and week out. But like he's kind of been around like the fourth, fifth place tier the past couple weeks. And after that, probably I have What If right there. He's in fourth. I think I may be wrong, but I feel like this like What If he has finished third place in almost every single race we've had up to this point. So he definitely wins a consistency award. However, he just hasn't had that race-winning run yet. He has potential for that. He just hasn't had it. And then fifth, I have in the Power 5, I have Raw Gator. You can't ignore the fact the amount of run, like the run that he has right now, the momentum he has on his side, jumping up 8 places in the points in just 2 races. And even though he had a terrible start to the season, he's definitely gotten his act together.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now he is turned into a race-winning contender at a majority of the tracks that we're going to go to.
All right. Now, just want to quick point out, qualifying, I believe, is getting started in about 2 minutes. So, yeah, we're just shortly waiting to get the qualifying results, and in a bit we can go racing. All right. So, with that out of the way, picks to win. You start off first. Who you got? Even though, again, we have very little to go off of. I think we ran 2 or 3 races on a mile-and-a-half track. There's a few drivers you could pick, but who you see going to victory lane in the Irish Hills tonight?
Well, this one's kind of tough because Michigan itself, it's kind of like how I characterize Michigan is a restrictor plate racetrack where tires matter. The draft here is so key, but also like if you don't have the best tires, or maybe like if your setup is off just a little bit, guys will be able to beat you through the center of the corners, but still be able to, like, you can see those guys who may be decent on super speedway tracks also do well here tonight. So with that said, the guy that I feel like that has like the best balance between good super speedway racing and making adjustments on this car, I think that WinVow will get the win tonight based off of his expertise in both of those areas.
You took my answer. I was also going with WinVow.
Really?
Yeah, because when you talked about it, how it's like a super speedway, but when tires matter, WinVow, specifically on the short tracks, we saw how good he is at conserving his tires, and I feel like he's going to use that to his advantage. And let's say, there's a quite huge possibility with the car, with the how small the field is, only 12 cars. There's a good possibility of it going to a long green flag run, and when that happens, you have to conserve your tires. And I feel like the 00 car is the best at doing that. If using examples from Martinsville and Richmond. So yeah, now it's 8 o'clock right now, so qualifying should get started and ready to go. But I guess we should take some questions now using the hashtag AskCoreBooth. Again, if you want to ask us any questions, just use hashtag AskCoreBooth that you see there on the top left of your screen. And yeah, let's see what we got here. Oh, wow. Dale Reynolds, he says that WinVow might get to victory lane tonight. Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. This is just funny. Denny Deliver says, hashtag AskCoreBooth, can we have another Jimmy Spencer moment?
Well,
no, I don't.
That's what I'd love to right now. Like, you can hear how low my voice is right now.
Yeah.
As much as I would want to, I am just in no shape to do it right now. So
he's kind of under the weather.
I think I'm a little under the weather. I think my inner Jimmy Spencer needs a little bit of a break. But I have a feeling that our next pre-race show, we may have something special planned.
Oh yes, yeah.
Regarding Jimmy Spencer.
We're not, but we're not going to announce it. We have that, and we have a special guest coming on the show next week, or yes, next Friday, Bristol. So yeah, we're not going to announce it yet, but it's going to be a lot of fun with this guest on. Okay, Denny says, "Can I do it?" No, I cannot do it. I don't have a towel near me, and there's nothing really to complain about. So far, it's been good.
Yeah. Besides all of my crying towels, I've been using to try to blow my nose. So like they've been.
Okay. Yeah, that's all you're gonna get, guys. All right.
That's all.
Cedo Brown.
Yeah.
Cedo Brown says, "Will we see train racing like Kansas or the real life in Michigan race?" I'm guessing cars spread out and multiple grooves.
So I think it's going to be interesting. I think where we may see our restrictor plate racing is going to, or like our super speedway racing, it's going to be in the beginning, middle of the runs, but then as the run goes on, when these tires start to fall off and stuff like that, and it also depending on how guys adjusted their car, how well they know how to adjust their car, that's where we can start to see guys spread out. And then especially too, if we get the green flag runs and then pit stops itself, it spreads everybody out. But yeah, definitely beginning of the race, we'll see a lot of pack racing, and I think it'll be a situation too that if we get late race caution, it's going to be a caution beat caution scenario, because everyone's going to be in such a tight pack, and they're going to be going probably 3-4 wide down the back straightaway, down the front stretch, below the apron. Yeah, it's going to be pretty hectic.
All right. Next question comes from Blue Jimmy 48 fan. He says, "Who do you find having a breakout run for the championship?"
This is tough because, like, it's anything, kind of like comparing this year to last year. I mean, last year, we just had our, like, I guess what you would call big three, where it was Ed Soundhead and What If and Dale Reynolds. You had Dale Reynolds where he was the consistent guy all season long. It was always up there towards the top, and he never got that win until the very last race of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And that win was key in getting him the championship. And then you had What If, who he had a little bit of a struggle beginning of the year, but he had the most wins, and he was catching Dale, but they ended up just coming up a bit short. And then you had Ed, too, who he had a couple wins also, and he would just kind of stay right behind those two the majority of the season, but they pulled away from everybody else. When we look at this season, I mean, definitely our points leader for the majority of the season has been Drive-Thru. But you look at WinVow, he's only 9 points back, and he would honestly be our points leader, I believe, if he didn't miss 2 races.
Yeah.
And then you also have Joey Stone back there, I believe 6th or 7th place in points. He missed the first 2 races of the season, plus that 5-point penalty. But he's coming back strong as well. And then you have Raw Gator, and like I said, he's had a phenomenal turnaround based off, like, when looking at how the beginning of his season went. You see right there, he just jumped up 4 points from the last race, and the race before that, he jumped up another 4. So 8 spots in 2 races that he's jumped up. So honestly, like, there's so many people right now that can make a run for this championship. So obviously you gotta watch Joey Stone, you gotta watch Gator, and you gotta watch WinVow. But also it's going to be interesting to see if Drive-Thru and What If, who have been the 2 consistent guys this season, are going to be able to hold off that charge.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like you said, it could turn into a top 3 battle with the 8-car Joey Stone as well as the 85 at Trey Normal. If they can keep up at this rate, the amount of consistency, the amount of points they are gaining, it could be interesting to see if we could have a 3, maybe even 4-car battle in the second half of the season. All right, so the dude named Dale Reynolds, he's watching tonight's coverage. Hello, Dale. He says, "Will we see a fuel mileage race tonight?" That's an interesting one.
That's going to be interesting. So we're looking at the fuel window, or just the pit window. It's somewhere in the range of like 20 to 23 laps in there, and it's a 100-lap race. So, I mean, assuming everything goes green all the way, it's going to be interesting because a lot of it can depend too on, do these guys stay in a pack? Because if that is the case, you're going to have those guys who are towards the back of that pack and they just decide to ride. They're going to save more fuel because you're really this is one of the tracks where you're really in the gas the majority of the time around here, if not almost the entire way around this track. So with that being the case, like, it really depends on, how your car's handling and where you're at on track, and if you're able to use the aerodynamics to your advantage. But then also just, based off of where the timing of the yellows falls. So all you need is one caution to fly just on the outside of a pit window or just outside of the possibility of maybe making it on one more stop. But I think if this entire race were to go green, I'm not quite entirely sure. We would probably just see a big mix of strategy if that were the case.
All right, so we qualifying is about to wrap up, so we'll have time for one more question. This was a quick one. Denny delivers again. He says, "Who will suck?" Simple as that.
I guess who will suck? Well, let's see. Well, tell you what, I think it's kind of unfortunate that I bring his name up just because he's a fellow Cody.
Cody Hicken.
But it looked really promising beginning of the year. Like, just what, not just him winning at Daytona, but, kind of the aggressive moves that he was making. And it was like, dang, I think this guy's really improved. And, just unfortunately, he hasn't had the success at all these other tracks to back up that performance. Now, because, like I said, like just now, that with Michigan kind of being like a restrictor plate racetrack, maybe this is a place where he could shine out a little bit. But also, too, I think where he needs to, do well at is on the side, making the right and proper adjustments and whatnot. And I think he's got some decent friends, teammates around him, like Ed Soundhead and a couple other people I know that are really close to work with him quite a bit. But yeah, that's just kind of one guy that I was hoping to see do a lot better so far this season after he had that phenomenal first weekend.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to be like Trevor Bayne, win one race and then quit. But yeah, we'll see. We could have picked an easy one. You could have said Ray Jacobs, Kamikaze Games, or maybe Jake Baskinger. I mean, those are the two I would have gone with.
Yeah, well, yeah, and then I don't know if he's going to necessarily suck, but I just know he's kind of like on this down slope almost.
Yeah. All right, so qualifying just wrapped up. What happened?
I just looked at the comments of who I don't know if it's true or not, but
what?
Oh my goodness!
What's in the comment?
Well,
wait. Whoa! No, wait. Hold on. Hold the phone. No. Cody's ninth. Cody.
Okay, good. Yeah, because they're saying like he's on pole.
No, he's not on pole. So drive-through wins pole. Second place is Darian. Nice one for him. Darian Gilliam in second place. Third is Joey Stone. Fourth is Jarrett Lundberg. Fifth is Winvow. Sixth is Brendan Littell. Seventh is whoever's in 11th. I don't know. Eighth is Brian Pasternak, 8th place. Wow. 9th is Cody Hicken. 10th is Jake Baskinger, and 11th is Kamikaze Games or Ray Jacobs.
I do want to add something that reminds me. Seeing Darian qualify second, not necessarily surprising. Remember, he was sitting second on that last lap at Daytona. Would have been interesting to see if that last lap would have gone green because he was sitting in great position to potentially get the win at Daytona. Michigan, another big draft track. You could do well here also.
That's true. Alrighty. Well, we are getting ready to go racing in the Motor City, the Irish Hills of Michigan, for the MDKBates.com 200. Should be a fun race here tonight. And we're waiting for the loading sign. Yeah, he could be a good, Darian could be a good dark horse pick here later tonight. Alright, so pace car on pit road. To the inside is Davin Cornelius. To the outside is the 25 car Darian Gilliam. Green flags in the air. Alright, apologize for the audio interruptions. We're just checking to see if it works. Alright, we're good. Let's go. Alright, so Darian to the race lead. Sorry for the interruptions there, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go, drive through. He slips up a little bit. It's going to back everything up.
Here comes Brian Pasternak to the inside. 3 wide down the back straightaway.
Yeah, see, these guys are going to be able to do this right now because, you know, the tires are fresher. You got a lot more grip in them, but as this run goes on, guys, they're not going to necessarily be able to hold it 3x3x3 right now, but so far, beginning of this run, this is pretty amazing stuff.
Look at the 22 car, Brendan Littell. Oh, contact between Littell and drive-through. And who's that out? That's the 25. The race leader. He's on pit road.
Back here.
What in the world happened?
He was up in the lead.
Something happened.
I think maybe like he just got loose, or that's really bizarre. And not only that, but I think he may get a pit penalty too because if he just spun down pit road and whatnot.
I mean, tough break for the 25 car. We were just talking about how he could be a dark horse in this race, and unfortunately, he is now on pit road. Meanwhile, back out in front, the 1 car, Pasternak. Right behind him is the 22 car, Littell, with another Ford of Trey Normal in 3rd place. They're all hugging the grass, it seems like.
Yeah, you guys are going to want to hug that bottom line here pretty early. And even though we said this is like a restricted plate racetrack, there is no yellow line rule here at this track, even though there isn't one period in this series. But so it's going to be interesting to see, you know, how much of this racetrack guys will end up using.
Here comes Littell to the inside of Pasternak, trying to get a nice drive off the corner, get maybe side by side, maybe get a perform a little side draft off of him, and trying to start finish line. So now Darren, he is 1 lap down, and if we get a caution, he'll be back on the lead lap. Here comes Normal to the high side, trying to push him, and Joey Stone in the 8 car behind Littell, that 2nd car on the inside, that little blue and white car.
Yeah, like kind of like I feel like Michigan in itself, like people kind of underrate and forget about it, and you saw right there in 1 and 2 that what if he was able to hold this lead on the outside? If you get a good arc down into 1 and 2, also in 3 and 4, even though the guy on the inside may be able to get around you. Sloppy!
Oh, look at Joey Stone! Woo! He tried it.
That was a bit impressive.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and we're actually gonna. Oh yeah, like I was talking about, we're gonna try to see it right here. See how Brian Pasternak's on the outside right now? If you're able to get a good arc like he is right now, you're actually able to stay even with that guy on the inside. So you want to get close. Brian's gonna try to come down side draft a little bit. We got a car on the inside. I think that's Jake Bassinger.
Look at the 8 car. Joey Stone gonna try and split the middle for 2nd place. And a bit off track. Who's that? That was the 06 car, I believe, of Kamikaze Games Ray Jacobs.
Pasternak is doing a really good job right now holding this outside lane, and
Oh my
not just holding the outside lane, but with all the drafting.
Look at the double zero card! Oh man, 4 wide!
3 wide.
Woo, that looked like 4 wide for a second, still 3 wide.
Oh, we're still gonna hold it. What's the tell gonna do here? We're gonna still hold it 3 wide.
He's gonna go way over the apron, contact! Oh, and in the wall goes Joey Stone. Still 3 wide for the lead, coasting in the middle. Trey Norma down low with Pasternak up top, entering 3.
Oh, this is amazing right here. When Pasternak, he finally got loose. But look, now he's going to start coming back. He's still not giving up. He's still looking on the inside, and Winval finally clears Pasternak, and he's getting a well of a push from the 85 car of Trey Normile.
I mean, this has a recipe for like an 8-9 car wreck.
It's the recipe for controlled chaos,
oh.
if we can say.
Winval drove it in a bit too hard.
He's going to try. Oh, Littell, he's looking for 4. They are
4 wide. Oh, Littell gets loose.
100 laps in this race, right?
Yeah, the Ragnarok gets 5 to go. Littell keeps it going, but he's not falling to the back end of the lead pack. Meanwhile, back up front, 2 Chevys. Pasternak down low. Winval up top. Pasternak, he has not won a race so far this season. You know, he's very hungry. Look at Raw Gator, and the 85 car gets help from Joey Stone.
And if he's going to be able to clear these guys going to turn 1, he will. That's going to give him a little bit of a better entry into this corner, and he's going to be able to hold the lead here off exit and Winval way up the racetrack.
We should mention that we still have like 82 laps to go, right?
These guys don't know that.
Wow, okay. I don't want to say things have settled down, but right now they're a lot calmer than 2 laps ago.
Well, I think we're starting to see right now, too, is that the tires starting to wear on these guys a little bit. I mean, you see some of the guys towards the back here, they're starting to fall off just a little bit. These guys at the front, they're starting to slightly pull away. Even though the draft is a bit of a factor here, still, with these tires falling off, it's going to cause people just to spread out just a little bit, but it's still going to be intense.
Oh, Joey Stone got a nice run on the high side as the 8 car. Joey Stone is going to get a little bit of help from the 77 of drive-through, maybe. Looked like drive-through was going to go to the middle there for a second. And to the lead, Joey Stone won the All-Star race on Thursday and won the Core League race at Kansas 1 week ago.
Making the outside lane work, too. You know, we talked about it, you know, like, just me personally, I kind of like making moves on the outside here, especially in 1 and 2, because if you know how to run 1 and 2, you can, 1, pull that guy on the bottom, pinch him a little bit down low. He isn't able to get the entry in or the exit off that you want to. And also, if you can get on that quarter panel, which we saw Sloppy do, you're able to pull that car on the inside back a bit, actually getting a little bit loose and being able to drive up off exit. And Sloppy worked that to perfection.
Right now, single file entering 3. But with the 85 car normal, it got very aggressive. Was going up top, down low, but Joey Stone blocking very well. Off a turn 4 to start finish line. Raw Gator down below the apron. However, no one is ready to help him. He's going to fall back.
And here comes the 1 car again. He's getting an amazing push from the 77 to drive through, but he overdrove the corner a little bit. Be interesting to see if these guys like hooked up, if they can get this run off the corner again.
And look who's behind the 85. Whoa! The 85.
Really loose here. That's gonna be a popular trouble spot right there, coming off turn 2, depending on how guys have their cars set up. If they have them designed to really turn to the center of these corners, as these runs goes on, look for those cars to get a little bit loose off of 2 especially.
The 1 car Pasternak got a good run entering the corner, but drove it a bit too hard it seems, and the 8 car clears him to the start finish line, but he is right on his back bumper as the 1 car jumps up top now, and the 8 car blocks.
I mean, I know there's like a lot of people who just talk about how like Joey Stone himself is quite a bit of an aggressive racer. But I mean, if you're aggressive, you know, like Joey, he's one of those guys where, you know, hey, the best and safest place to be is out front, and
man,
whatever he can to stay out there out front. And I mean, yeah, he's definitely aggressive, and it keeps him up there towards the lead. But you got to think about too, Jet, that he's, you know, how many points down, and he's got to get every single point possible. That means he's got to lead the most laps. He's got to lead a lap, but he's got to try to win as many races as possible and finish as best as possible to try to catch up to those leaders.
Yeah, I was just about to say, as we see Brian Pasternak take the lead, I mean, Joey Stone, he's 7th place, 34 points behind. Now, that doesn't seem much, but when you look at how the 77 car's been running, as well as the 1 car, how good they've been running, it almost seems like Joey Stone, he has to win every race, it seems like, to even have a shot at the championship.
I know Joey Stone. He could go out and finish like top 3 every single race, but the 77, the 1 car finishing top.
Oh, spin! Trouble, turn 3.
Oh, big trouble.
The 20 and the 88 car of Cody Hicken and Jarrett Lundberg spin. And oh, right in front of the 25 car, Darren Gilliam.
Well, that's going to bring out a caution, I think.
Yep, caution's out, second time today. Wow.
I think that may give...
the 25 car, that's going to give him, I believe, the lucky dog.
And, if, Joey Stone, he can't afford just, I'll get like a solid top 3 finish. No, he has got to go out and win as many races as possible because competition in the point standings, they're running top 3, top 5 every single race as well.
Yeah. Alrighty, so now we got a bit of a chance to compose ourselves after what we just saw. Some very, very, very aggressive racing, specifically between the 2 drivers on your screen, the 8 and the 1 car. So, wow, another restart, and, oh man, it's going to be hell, it seems like. 1 car passing to the inside, Joey Stone, the 8 car, to the outside. Green flag is out once again.
I think everybody under that last caution there, everyone came down for service and everything, so we saw how aggressive these guys were getting on fresh tires before, so I think we can expect the same thing here in these first couple laps.
Here comes the 85 car. Got a run. Got a fender underneath the 8 car of Joey Stone. Look at this little mess behind the 1 car.
In the back, that was the back half of the field. Something happened with them. They got really bobbled up, and that's allowed these front guys to pull away a little bit. So it's not as clustered and congested as last time, but still you got about 8-9 cars right here in this mix.
How about the 38 car, Jake Baskinger? He's in the lead pack.
He had a bit of trouble there. I think he may have gotten loose or wrecked last time. He's been able to rebound nicely, and like any super speedway racetrack, all you have to do is really stay in the draft, and you got a chance to win these things. And at least for the beginning of these runs, I think if Jake can just kind of stay in the draft with some of these guys, he can have a chance to show something.
Now the 1 car is in first place, and once again the 85 car, Trey Norma, all over his back bumper. He was all over the back bumper of the 8 car. Joey Stone wasn't able to get the job done. We all for a battle for 3rd place, heating up just a bit there. As Joey Stone, the 00 car, Winval, oh, and in the wall, Jake Baskinger, and the 77 car drive-through. We're starting to see the field spread out a bit.
Yeah, I got a bit of a 5-car breakaway up here right now. I think quite a few people are starting to mind their manners a bit, but never mind. Here comes Gator. He had a great runoff, too.
To the inside.
He's going to try to take this lead from What If and look for Sloppy to capitalize.
He's going to try and go the middle. Off turn forward. Raw Gator with the edge on the inside, way below the apron, near the grass and at the line. Trey Norma will lead this lap, and he's got a bit of a push from the 8.
Watch for him to go from the middle if there's room. Nope, he's just going to stay right behind Gator.
Brian Pasternak, the lone man on the outside. Now he's got the 85 car in front of him of Norma. That's going to leave the door open for the 8.
A little bit.
3 wide, down the Mac straightaway once again.
Trying to see what Winbow's going to do here. He looks like he's pushing the 1 as well as the 77.
Ooh. And to the lead is the 1 car, Pasternak once again. But now look at the 00 car. He's got a bit of a run through the middle of the corner. Ooh.
Oh, a little bit of contact right there, but looks like the 1 car, he's got quite a bit of drafting help from that 00. I think the 00 is willing to push and work with the number 1 car of Brian Pasternak as well as the 77 of drive-through. I think those guys may have some sort of drafting plan working together in this race, and it seemed like whenever they've been...
Oh, and in the wall! Oh, trouble! Oh. Sideways, way off of the 77 car of drive-through. Keeps it off the wall, keeps it going.
Good job by everyone to save. I know that set Gator towards the back of the pack and drives your way down to the bottom of the racetrack, but it could have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah, it looked like the 85 car just hit the wall as well as the 1 car Pasternak, and the 85 bounced off and hit the 77 way off course. Who was that? That was the 06 car of Ray Jacobs. He's still a little bit wobbly.
think what happened there, what started all that, is I think Sloppy, he came up a little bit too much. He got into the one car a bit, and that put the one car in the wall, and that just kind of started a little bit of a stack up. So guys are definitely really aggressive here in the beginning of this race.
The one car Pasternak got a great drag down the back straightaway, and he's going to clear the 8 car with ease off of 4, maybe. Yes, he does. So now, what if the race leader second place is Joey Stone, but he's got a right rear corner panel on him on the outside.
Yep, and there goes to the 00 and the 77. I haven't got really any confirmation, but just what I've noticed, literally every single time any of those cars have had an option to go with either Sloppy or another car, they have always gone with someone other than Sloppy. But a bobble right there made the 00 take it 3 wide.
Man, the 8 car just squeezed his way on the outside, and look at on the inside. 2-time winner this season, Winval. Michael Costa Jr. takes the lead. But he's not out of harm's way yet. He still got 4 cars all over him.
Look who's joined the party right now. Brendan Littell. He came from that second pack back there, and with these guys racing, that allowed him to catch up.
You got Littell and Stone on the outside, and then you got 3 drivers on the bottom of the racetrack, guys. Costa Jr. slips up. That's going to the one to the inside. 3 wide again. And, contact.
That was unbelievable. Sloppy made that move on the outside without drafting help. He has got an amazing strong car right now.
And the reason why he got that with ease was because the 00 car got loose off of 2 and slammed into the right side of Brian Pasternak, and that allowed Joey Stone to gain the lead because those 2 drivers lost speed.
So far, the car that seemed to have the 2 cars that have the best capability to make passes on the outside here in 1 and 2 have been the 8 and the 1. Gator has shown a little bit of strength as well, but it seemed like those 2 guys that if you put them on the outside against any cars on the inside, they're able to hold off and make passes on that outside lane. So I don't know if you can really say that there's a preferred lane right now.
Joey Stone just cut off the 1 car's momentum because Pasternak got a good push from the 77 car drive-through down the back straightaway. Where as he come across our finish line, lap 31 out of 100 in the MDKBase.com 200. It has been a thrill of a race so far between these 4 or 5 drivers. Pasternak to the outside now, Stone entering 1 and 2.
And we got about 2 packs right now. We have these top 5 right now of Stone, Littell, Pasternak, Kasi, and drive-through. And behind them we got about another pack of 3, maybe include those 2 behind them to make it 5. Gator, Black Flags Matter, Jarrett Lundberg, Cody Hicken, and I believe that's Jake Bastinger back there. Or no, it's Ray Jacobs just off the back as well. But if I was these guys back here, seeing how much these guys up front are really racing, I'd be getting single file and try to run them down.
Yeah, because the way the front 5 have been racing, I mean, if you can get a run, get together, and not try and race hard, you can easily catch up to these guys. Oh, who's that way off? The 00 car. Michael Costa Jr. way off entering 3.
I think he was just trying to find some space to regather himself just for a brief moment.
We all need to gather ourselves for a brief moment. So now it looks like the 8 car of Joey Stone has opened up a bit of a gap with the 1 car Pasternak. Obviously, with the draft and how important it is in this game, it's not going to last very long, that lead.
But with these guys stringing it out a little bit, that's allowed these guys that are leading the charge in the second pack, like Gator, Lundberg, Darian, and Hickens, they're starting to race each other a little bit right here. I think Gator's got a little bit of a bobble there, but they're starting to catch the back end of this lead pack. And got a car in the round back at exit of turn 2, I believe that's Ray Jacobs.
Yeah, the 06 car, Ray Jacobs. Not sure what happened there, but
May have just gotten loose off on his own and he came back and hit the outside wall, but it's just a single car wreck. We should still be going green.
Yeah, still green, and meanwhile, back up front, the 1 car just took the lead off of 4 from the 8 car, Joey Stone, and here comes the 77 car drive-through. 2-time winner at Homestead and a Canadian Tire.
Surprised that these guys in the second pack right now are really racing as hard as they are. If they just kind of stayed single file, they'd be able to catch these guys up front with ease. And one guy that's actually starting to drop off the back of this pack a little bit is Winvow. I'm a little bit curious if he's maybe trying to save some tire wear or whatnot, because he's really dropped off the pace of these front pack.
Yeah, he's about to get eaten up by the second pack of Trey Norma, who leads that group. I'm surprised also the 85 car hasn't catch back up.
Well, that entire second pack has fallen off tremendously as well. So I'm curious here, like, you know, if are they maybe trying to like set up some sort of strategy? I know with we're just about 65 laps to go here or something, and that would make it about maybe a 2-stop race, 3-stop race from here. So if that's the case, maybe some guys are trying to save some stuff.
Oh, spin trouble! Oh, the 85 car normal spins in the middle of 3 and 4, and collects a 38 car. I don't believe caution is not out. I think we're still green, and we are. We're still green. Oh, tough break for the 85 car. Was running up front for majority of the first part of the race, then got shuffled back after making contact with the outside wall off of 2, and now spins in the middle of 3 and 4. He's going to lose a ton of ground to this lead pack.
We're trying to pull up some views, see if we can see what happened. I'm not sure, but just kind of looking around, there's a lot of guys here that are really backing off the pace, especially Lundberg and Darian and Cody Hicken. They are going extremely slow compared to what they were earlier. So I think they're working on some sort of strategy right now.
They may be trying to save tires and save their fuel, maybe. Or they probably lost a lot of tire wear.
They were kind of towards the back of that pack earlier, and they weren't really mixing it up as much as those guys in the front were. So from a tire wear standpoint, I think the guys that are doing worse are the ones that are up in that lead.
Yeah, specifically
interesting to see
how hard they're racing. They're for sure going to be using up their tires. So here comes the 8 car, Joey Stone, to the inside to try to take the lead again off of Pasternak. A bit higher lane now as the 1 car is trying to pinch him down.
Yeah, these guys aren't saving at all. They're just all going at it.
1 car with a bit of an edge entering 3 and 4, but the 8 car's got the preferred lane, maybe to the inside. 1 car holding his ground side by side, dead even, with the 8 car having a bit of an edge off of 4. He's got the lead, but he's not clearing him yet. The 1 car's going to side draft on his right side, but the 8 car Stone leads this lap. And here comes the 77 car drive there. As they're battling side by side, the 77 car is going to get a huge run. And the 8 car takes the lead. Here comes the 1 car with the crossover move, though. And now 1 car underneath the 8 car of Joey Stone.
As a car right here, it's going to be about 61 laps to go. So from this point, they have to pit here shortly. It would be about a 3-stop race from here. But I'm wondering if some of these guys that are towards the back of this pack, like Hickens and Lundberg and Darian, they need to try to make this a 2-stopper.
Oh, look at drive to the inside, and Joey Stone's going to split him through the middle. 3 wide once again. 2 Chevys and a Ford.
Oh,
whoa!
This ain't going to work.
Oh, this ain't going to work. Contact. 1 car way up the racetrack, and the 77 to the lead. Then they're fine. Those are going. Wow.
Driving through them. Back to the lead he goes.
He about drove through him. I mean, he bumped into the 8 car Stone, then hit the 1 car, pushed both of those drivers up the track. And now the 77 car out of Canada, a 2-time winner, trying to go for number 3 here tonight. He's going to lead, I believe, his first lap here in tonight's event.
Oh, I think we got guys coming down pit road right now. Darian Gillum is on pit road.
The 25 car, I believe, the 38. The 38 and the 06 car, they're also on pit road. Oh, and in the wall!
Oh.
Drive-through just hit the outside wall. Not sure what happened there, but he hit the outside wall.
It may have gotten loose coming off the corner, I think. And looks like the 8 car's dropping low right here.
The 1 car's coming on pit road.
Nope. 1 car's coming down.
As well as and drive-through spins! Drive-through spins coming on the pit road. Remember, a few weeks ago at Canada, he did the same thing. He had trouble coming onto pit road. That is the last thing he needed.
He rebounded somewhat, but he's definitely going to be way behind this lead pack.
That is the last thing he wanted to happen. Remember, you have to go back a few weeks ago at Canada when he had a huge lead on the 8 car, Joey Stone. He came onto pit road and he hit the tire barrier. He had to go in reverse and go on pit road and lost a ton of ground. And here comes the 8 car, Joey Stone onto pit road now.
Oh, double zero, Kasi. I think Kasi may have sped down pit road. He came in right behind Pasternak. He's still on pit road.
Oh my goodness, a 12-second penalty. Wow.
He's just coming off pit road. Speeding penalty for the double zero windbound.
Man, pit road issues for 2 of our lead drivers. The 77 car drive-through spun entering pit road. Or I should say he spun and missed pit road. And the double zero car gets a speeding penalty.
Drivers on pit road right now, 22 of Littell, 8 of Sloppy Joe, and 85 of Raw Gator. Sloppy and Littell both got off of pit road nice. I don't think they sped at all. Let's see. Off pit road.
So let's see now.
So it looks like our only
8 car is the race leader, and Brian Pasternak just passed him on the outside. So now Pasternak is the race leader. He's got a bit of a gap, maybe about a second and a half or so on the 8 car.
Just so we talked about too, like I felt like once we get some green flag pit stops and it was going to really spread out the field. Not just because of pit stops themselves, but just mistakes that guys made. And we saw, the 2 mistakes made getting on the pit road have been made by our leaders. Two of our 5 leaders. We had drive-through who spun getting down the pit road again, and then the double zero Michael Kasi who just sped down pit road. And you can't afford to have those things.
So right now, top 5. Let's take a look at it right now. So Brian Pasternak is leading. Second place is Joey Stone. Third is the 22 car Brendan Littell. Fourth is Darren Gilliam, and fifth is Jarrett Lundberg. So they round out your top 5. And yeah, I mean drive. Oh, sorry, go on.
I think drive-through is back here, and yeah, he's right behind Lumber. So I think what he would need to do is that he just needs to work with these guys and try to make up whatever gap he can. Just use advantage of the draft and whatnot, and maybe just drafting together. I think when drive-through, he definitely is the fastest car. He was our pole sitter. So maybe if Lundberg and Hickens just kind of rode behind drive-through a bit, they could try to make up some ground.
And drive-through moves to the 5th position as Jarrett jumps back to 6th. Meanwhile, back up front, the 8 car, he has caught the 1 car. There was about a second gap between the 2, and now that is down to around 3 to 4 tenths.
With how far ahead these guys are too, I want to know, are these guys going to be racing each other, or are they going to maybe work together and be like, hey, let's try to separate ourselves, build as much of a gap as possible between everyone else, because 3rd and 4th, they're not near each other at all, so they're going to be single cars, but nope, Sloppy looking inside.
I was about to say, I mean, with any other driver, fine, but when you get the 8 car, Joey Stone, having the opportunity to take the race lead like what he just did, no way he's going to try and work with him. He wants the lead now.
And he's the guy and that's one of the guys that he has got to finish ahead of regarding being able to close the points gap. Just because what if he has been consistent and he's not going to be able to make up points on him if he's just finishing behind him.
So Joey Stone is now to the race lead. 1 car, Pasternak falls back to 2nd. This reminds me a lot of Homestead a few weeks ago. There were 3 drivers, Reynolds, Stone, and Pasternak, that were just swapping the lead back and forth and had a huge gap between the rest of the field. Obviously, drive-through, in my opinion, would have been the 3rd other driver to be up front, but now, since he suffered a pit road incident and Michael Costa Jr. spun, that takes 2 of the top 4 contenders out of us, and now it's just between the 8 and the 1 car.
And Pasternak, he's not content either. He's going to try to make a pass on this outside lane. He's actually pulling pretty even with him, but he kind of slipped a little bit there in the center.
And with them racing like that, that is going to bring that 3rd place driver in the mix, who I believe right now is the 22 car Littell. The way they're racing.
Well, actually, you know what? I mean, even though, yes, they're racing, these are, I think, 2 of the fastest cars on track right now. And even though they're racing, even if they're just in, single file, just for, a half a lap or so, that is such a huge advantage, even if you're just a car running by yourself out there, because like you can easily make up half a second or so per lap just with 2 cars versus 1.
Right now, I'm gonna take a guess. I know there've been like maybe 22 lead changes or so in this race, and I think 80% of it has come between these 2 drivers. Pasternak drove it into 3 and 4, bit too hard, slides up the racetrack just a bit, gonna lose some ground to the A-car of Stone. Take a look at some other battles through the field. Everything is really spread out. Here's a battle between the 28 and the 88 car. And surprisingly, the 77 car driver, he has not gone away from these 2 drivers, even though he has a faster car.
That's just how, efficient that the draft is here and how big of a deal it is. I'm wondering if he's going to be able to pull away from these guys a little bit as his run goes on, but I'm sure drive-through ain't complaining because, the more friends that you can have the draft with you and try to make up whatever gap you can, the more the merrier. So these guys don't look like they're really racing each other too much. They're just kind of staying single file here, 5th through 7th. And they're gaining a little bit on the 4th place car.
Darren Gilliam. I was about to say to your point there, Cody. They're not racing. They're staying single file, and they have caught up to the 25 car ever so slightly, but they're still catching him in the process.
So I think Darian also came down and pitted a lap before everybody else. So, I think 1 lap should, tires here, even though they are important, I don't think fall off here is too big of a deal. The bigger importance here is, deciding when to pit is going to be if you come down, decide to pit by yourself, or if you come down and pit with a partner. I think if you can work it out and pit with a partner, if drive-thru can maybe try to coordinate something with Darren if he catches up to him, or Lundberg or Hickens, if those 4 can try to pit with each other and try to form their own little pack and try to work their way up to the field, it's going to be a bit of a stretch, but if they can pit and have all fresh tires together and be able to draft with each other, they can try to put up a fight.
Yeah, and Joey, I'm looking at a stream right now. He says, and quote, he's trying to lead as many laps as possible. Again, he's 34 points behind. Pasternak is in 2nd place, running in 2nd. He wants to lead as many laps as he can to make sure that Brian Pasternak does not get a lap for most laps slide. He's trying to halt the one's performance and trying to get as many points as he can.
Brian knows that because we see him constantly trying to make a pass on the outside of Joey in 1 and 2, and also Joey, he does have slightly better tires than that 1 car. Brian Pasternak, he came in a lap before Sloppy did, so there's slightly better tires on the 8 car, but not that much to make such a huge difference.
And right now, the 8 car, Joey Stone to the inside, but the 1 car, Pasternak's got a good run on the outside. We saw that happen last time, and the 8 car was able to clear him. Let's see what happens entering 1. We are under...
Yeah, we just got the halfway mark a couple laps ago, but I think what Brian needs to do a bit here is that he can be getting a lot closer to that 8 car coming off of 4. I think what he can do, if he can time it right, he needs to get a good run off of 4, come down, get that side draft off of Sloppy halfway down the straightaway, pull his car back, and then if Brian can be even door to door with him heading into 1, he can be in a good position to try to make the pass.
Again, up top is the 1 car.
See right there, when he pulled out of line, he pulled out of line a bit too much. There's easily half, 3/4 of a car right there, but he's right there. He was a pretty good job of staying on his corner right there in the corner, but when he's getting that run off of 4 and he makes that slingshot to go onto the outside, he's got to stay a little bit closer to his corner.
Passing again to the outside, nothing there. Slides back in line. Man, these drivers are going at it. So I believe we're now under... we should see drivers come on the pit road in 8 or so laps, because we're getting close to another field run. Lap 56 out of 100 complete. We are 45 laps to go here in MDKBase.com 200. It has been the Joey Stone and Brian Pasternak show. They have been swapping the leads back and forth.
Run right here by Pasternak. I think he's clipped the wall a little bit.
Oh!
He's going to make Joey go to that inside lane a bit.
Here comes the one car. Now he's a lot more side by side with him entering three.
He's got a good run right there. He just didn't get quite back into the gas that he needed to, but this is the closest that he's been to Joey coming off 4 here, but he just doesn't have that run to do anything down the straightaway.
And again, tries to hug in his right rear corner panel. And he's going to clear him.
Brian, he definitely has really good straightaway speed. Got a little bit loose right there off of 2. It looks like tires are really starting to wear on these guys. Wondering if these guys are going to be pitting here soon. Just a couple laps, they'll be in their window to make their second to last green flag pit stop should this thing go all the way.
So right now, you're in Pasternak's shoes. You know that clearly going to the outside lane is not going to work, as we see him trying to do it again. Let's see, I don't know, maybe he actually might, he's got a good run on the high lane.
I think he can. He just isn't really doing it right, because every single time, because I'm watching the overhead view right now. Maybe we can get a good overhead shot of it next time when we come off of 4. But I've been watching it several laps now. He gets a really good run coming off of 4. He gets a really good slingshot, but when he pulls out a little bit too much, and there's almost room to put a full car between him and Sloppy Joe. And with him making that much of an aggressive pull to the outside, one, it slows his momentum down, and also he could be getting a lot closer to that rear spoiler to pull Joey back a bit. And he's just not utilizing those aerodynamics to the best of his advantage right now.
Yeah, I was just about to say, put yourself in Pasternak's shoes, as we see him now. Joey Stone jumps down, letting the one car get a run to the outside. I was about to say, you're in Pasternak's shoes, as we see him trying to take the lead once again. That outside lane, if that can't work,
he's got a good run right here,
but not enough. The 8 car clears him. Is there a way for our Pasternak to try and maybe see if we can get to the inside of Joey Stone? Because clearly, that looks like the preferred lane between these 2 drivers.
I mean, we're seeing how aggressive that Sloppy has been trying to block that low line, and I think Brian is almost content with Sloppy just going down there to, maybe make a mistake. But look at a really good run. There we go. Brian's going to get down, get a good side draft right there. They're even.
But the 8 car gets it. Whoa, the 1 car got a nice run entering 3 and 4. Here he comes.
If he doesn't slip up too much, he can get a good run on there, but nope, Sloppy clears him.
1 car got a nice draft.
Let's see, look how outside he pulls. Bit of a lag right there, but
big lag. No, continue your point.
But yeah, he just needs to do it, and I'm kind of saying the same thing over and over again. But he's got to do a much better job of that side draft. But is he looking
to the apron?
Not giving him much room.
61 out of 100.
Brian, hey, if you're gonna run me all the way to that inside, fine. But just letting you know, there's asphalt right there.
And there he goes. Oh, there's gonna be interesting. And Pasternak gets ahead of him. Oh, that is gonna be. Well, now they're side by side.
I want to know too. It looked like the fastest car coming down pit road was Joey Stone. So hopefully, I don't think I'm hoping these guys didn't speeds coming down pit road, but did the 1 car get held up by Bassinger?
Oh, the 38 car. Jake Baskinger was in his pit stall. As you see, the 38 car now out, and the 1 car just slammed right into the back of him. And the 8 car gets slammed to the back end of the drive-through. No, whoa, more. Oh no!
The 1 car.
Oh, that's gonna hurt his chances tremendously. He got boxed in by the 00 car.
Brian Pasternak, he got pinned in by the 38 of Bassinger, and then coming out 00 wind valve just kept him in his box.
Wow, that is that's not very pretty what we just saw. That's all down to physics, really. 704, fix it.
And it's not the first time either. We've seen it race after race, and if anything, that's the second time that we've seen that Brian has been affected. Remember, Canadian Tire, he was up there with drive-through, and Michael Roots was pitting in front of Brian. And when Roots was coming in for his pit stop, and as the one car was pulling out, he ran to the side of him.
Did you say Maroots?
Oh, I said Roots.
Oh, he ain't racing tonight.
Don't. What? Well, I'm talking about a Canadian Tire.
I thought you were talking about. Oh, I thought you were talking about the race here today.
No, because the same thing happened to Brian at Canadian Tire.
Oh, yeah.
Was pitting, and then like he was running up there for their first round of pit stops. Brian, he was up there running with drive-through, and after that first round of green flag pit stops, when he came out, the 48 car Michael Mertz, he ran to the side of him. So if I'm Brian Pasternak, this is now the second race where he has been, may I say, screwed over by the 704 physics and cost him a chance at a win.
Absolutely. I mean, tough break for Pasternak. All right, so just to give you an idea of how much that screwed him, before pit stops, he had the lead entering pit road, just a bit. He had the lead entering pit road. Coming out of it, he is now 4.5 seconds behind Joey Stone.
It wasn't just that too, but it was also coming in behind. It was a double whammy for What If. It was running into Bassinger, getting into his box, and then trying to come out of his box. 0-0 ran to him. None of these players' faults. It's just the physics of 704.
Yeah, so I mean, it's now basically of Pasternak. He needs a caution, or at least if I believe we have one more stop on pit road, if I'm not mistaken. He's going to have to do something big if he wants to have a shot at winning this thing.
Well, with just how everyone is spaced out right now, and there's only so much you can do with how just how wide that his track is, how fast his track is, and how much that you're in the gas. It's not like a road course or a short track where you can maybe try to make gains up on the guy if you fell back or had a mistake or not. A lot of these guys are so even. I mean, we haven't really had lap traffic yet. An issue. Even though we've had guys be a problem, we haven't had lap traffic at all to this point, and that just shows you how, even though this field is spread out, these guys, they aren't that big of a difference in skill level from each other.
Yeah, just a quick update now. You see the 06 car of Kamikaze Games, Ray Jacobs, on pit road. He has retired from this race. That's the second week in a row he has retired in terms of points-paying race last weekend. Or not last weekend. No, yes, last weekend in Kansas. He also quit. Yeah, rough break for the 06 guy. So, right now, field is spread out. We were hoping to have the field a bit more jumbled up for this, but Cody, what do you say we go hardcore?
Let's do it.
All right, core hardcore Michigan style. All right, let's take a look now at a battle, I believe, for the 5th spot, if I'm mistaken. The 85 and the 88 car, Jared Lundberg and Trey Normile.
Gator, he's been doing a decent job of rebounding. I think something happened to him earlier in this race. Remember when these guys were really going hard at it after that last caution we had? He got put in the wall and fell back a bit, but he started to rebound a bit, and he's currently running in 5th.
So right now we are, let's take a look at the lap counter. I believe we are, I think, 30-something. Oh, excuse me, 29 laps ago. I think it's a good time to go through the field. So we'll kick off with you, Cody. Start off with our race leader.
Sloppy Joe, once again, he's had the, wouldn't necessarily say the clear-cut dominant car, but he's been towards the front for the majority of this race, and it was quite the battle between he and What If, but unfortunately, What If had, turn on your audio, by the way. But yeah, it was like those two just going at it, and then a little bit of a lucky break for him with What If having those problems, but so far, Sloppy once again having a fast car, clean run, and he has quite the lead over What If.
Yeah, it's 2nd place. I mean, you have to feel for Brian Pasternak, still winless in 2019 in Season 2 of the Core League. And no way to say it bluntly, but he got screwed by 704 with the physics. Came onto pit road. He had the race lead by just a smudge over Joey Stone entering that latest pit stop. Got boxed in. Actually, believe got pushed in by the 38 car. Then got boxed in by the 00 car of Michael Cosi Jr. and is around 4.5 seconds behind Joey Stone, sitting in 2nd place.
Not too far behind him in 2nd. He's kind of by himself in his own little world right now. How about this? Brendan Littell having a really great day so far. 3rd place. He's been in a little bit of a slump the past couple weeks, but this is a really good run from him. He has no pressure right now from any guys behind him. You can't really see him at all. You have to go all the way back about half a corner, and that's where we see a 3-way battle.
Oh, man. For 4th.
We're drive-through. Yeah, for 4th and drive-through. He got loose coming up and hit Darian. I thought I was going to talk about him for a second, but Gator, he got a 2-for-1 special right there. Gator, he was all the way back in 8th place before he had this run of green flag pit stops, and he's rebounded up to 4th. I'm sure he wished he'd be up a lot higher in the running order, maybe battling for the win here, but Gator once again continuing to turn his season around, having a great solid run in the 4th position.
Yeah, and 5th place, we can get him on here. The 77 car drive-through 2-time winner this season. Was one of the top 3, really, entering this race specifically for the first part of this event. Was in the lead for some time, ultimately, but he had trouble entering pit road, spun out, entering the pit lane. Cost him a ton of ground, but other than that, for the points leader, you got to be consistent, got to stay up front. 5th place is a good run for the 77 car.
Right behind him too is Darian Gillum. Another solid run for him. I think he wished he'd be doing a little bit better right now, but he's kind of sitting quietly there in about the 5th, 6th position in points, and he hasn't had necessarily race-winning speed this season. This is about where he's been running for the majority of the season, kind of like in this position, like a 4th, 5th, and 6th, and he's had, consistency there, but you just need to work on building that up a bit. But once again, solid, consistent run for the 25 car.
I believe 7th place is the 88 car of Jarrett Lundberg. There he is. Very quiet day. Hasn't really done much, but so far very solid in the 7th place spot. He entered into this race 6th place in the point standings, 32 points behind. Has improved greatly from last season. Right now, he's proving himself to be a top 7, top 6 contender this season, running nicely in 7th place.
Right behind him, Cody Hickens running in 8th. We were wondering, with his only win and only really decent run of the season being his win at Daytona early, at the first race of the season this year, we were wondering if he was going to have anything for this racetrack today, and unfortunately, as with these long green flag runs, the field has gotten spread out. He's just kind of been in this area of 7th, 8th, 9th. So trying to find some way to work his way up through the field, but he's in a battle right now with the 88 of Lundberg.
Ninth place right now is the double zero car of Michael Kosey Jr. One at Martinsville and at Richmond. He was our picks to win here tonight. Not running well so far in the ninth spot. Again, just like with drive-through, was up front for the early stages of the race, but he had trouble on pit road. Caught speeding entering pit road, and that ultimately sent him back to the ninth spot. Yeah, nowhere to be seen. No drivers ahead of him really to have a shot at gaining any positions. Entered in this race, third in points, 9 points behind. And with this ninth place run specifically and how good the one car and the 77 car have been running, this is going to hurt him a bit in the points.
And our last car running on track right now. Jake Bassinger sitting back in the 10th position right now. No one in front of him, no one around him. Thankfully, he's not in jeopardy of being put a lap down as what we can see right now. Getting a little bit loose off the corner right there, but just continuing to just gain experience on the laps, and he's got about a full straightaway ahead of his leader, Sloppy Joe. And I think for him, he just his goal is just finish all the laps and continue the log races here in this series, and just try to gain more experience. And with that, I believe we're about ready to make our final pit stops.
Yeah, 11th, as you see there behind the 06 car Kamikaze Games, he is 11th, but he unfortunately quit earlier in the race. Ryan Labine was supposed to be racing, but unfortunately something happened, and he's not participating here tonight. As we see drivers, the 88, and I believe that was the one car. Yep. Yes, the one car, Pasternak, he's on pit road. The 85 is on pit road, and the 77 who flies in on pit road.
All these guys are really trying to make up what they can, especially Win Valley really gained up on the back of that 28 car of Hickens. Hickens may have been a little bit more conservative getting out of pit road, but these guys are really trying to push it.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think Pasternak just hopes to have a clean piss off. Oh, my goodness. And the 85 car of Rawgator just spun him.
Oh, my goodness.
Unbelievable. Now, the 85 car, he's stuck sideways on pit road. Unbelievable.
He straightened out our leader, the 8 car of Joey Stone. He's coming down pit road as well. We need to look at him though, make sure he doesn't get messed up.
Yeah. He's sliding into slams into the L0 car, and the L0 car does spins around, keeps it going. Oh man.
I think we have a nominee for next week's crying towel.
Yeah. Oh, I feel so bad. This one you have to feel for them, and okay. The 25 just slammed into the back into the 8 car, but it wasn't as bad as what happens with the 1 car. I'm sorry, you have to feel for him at this point.
Definitely. Hey, I just want to mention, it's still a decent gap, but Brian Pasternak, he slightly closed that gap in a bit.
Slightly, but I don't know. With
still a decent gap, but it was a decent amount. I don't know if he's gonna have enough time, especially because he pitted a bit earlier than the 8 car. But he definitely closed quite a bit in that pit cycle.
Right now, the leader right now is Brendan Littell, as you see him on pit road. And now Joey Stone will retain the race lead. However, yeah, you are right. Before the gap was around 4 seconds. Now the gap is 2.5. So even though he got screwed again, he has cut that lead by about 2 seconds.
So though, I think it's a little bit too little, too late at this point. I mean, I think at this point it's going to take a mistake from Sloppy, or maybe a caution coming out, and just with only 10 cars running on track right now, and how much they're spread out, getting a caution to come out seems pretty unlikely at this point.
Yeah, and he's going to have to make some big strides. 84 out of 100. We are around 15, 16 laps to go here in the MDKBaits.com 200. Yeah, and I don't really see Joey making a mistake. I mean, he's just been clean all race long.
Flawless, and we talked about it earlier, where a lot of people say that he's pretty aggressive, maybe a little bit too aggressive, but look where he's running right now. He's sitting up first, so That aggression level, even though some may find it somewhat controversial, it's been paying off as he's been up front practically the entire race, and I believe he's got the most laps led locked up here once again, with only about 17, 16 laps to go here.
Yeah, that's going to be huge in the points. Yeah, that's going to be huge in the point standings for Joey Stone. He's not going to gain much, but he is going to be gaining points.
Well, that's the thing too. Is when we look at his competition, and now we see too that he's really starting to pull away from Brian Pasternak here. Yeah, he's about 3.5 seconds ahead now, but the guys that he's trying to run down, Brian Pasternak, our points leader, drive through. He's sitting back there in the 4th position. And then you have Brian Pasternak, who's only 5 points behind him. He's running at 2nd. And then Winvow, he's sitting in 3rd, but he's not on the best days, so that's good for Sloppy in that sense. But still, these guys that Sloppy is trying to beat, they're still running up here with him in contention.
Yeah, and with this track at Michigan being the track it is, I mean, you nearly go full throttle here. It is very difficult to even gain time based off of how you enter the corner, how you do through the center. Unlike at a track like, let's say, maybe Fontana, which is very bumpy, you weigh your tires a lot, where you can make a difference. Here Michigan is a sort of smooth racetrack, and it's very hard to make ground.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the only thing that you can really maybe try to do is change up your driving line a bit, but even with that, once everyone figures out the right, driving line that suits them and everything, it's only maybe, can maybe improve your car or your lap time by maybe like a 10th or so. Nowhere near the amount that it would be at another track where having the right setup or the amount of grip left in the tires were able to make such a big difference.
Absolutely. Joey Stone trying to go, really 3 weeks in a row. Even though Thursday at Eldora was an all-star event, did not count for points, but he has been on a roll the past 2 weeks. One at Kansas. Well, let's say his season so far started off very rocky. Had one of, if not the best car at Homestead in his first race this season. And then we saw what happened when that caution came out. Then at Canadian Tire the next week or a few races later, was in contention again to win, but made a mistake entering turn 2, I believe, and went way off the racetrack and just gave the 77 car drive through the race win. And then he started to get on a roll. He was in contention, but he just never found a way to close out races. Then at Kansas a few weeks ago, dominated the race, wins, and Eldora wins, dominates the All-Star race, and now so far he has dominated specifically the second half of this race here tonight to try and take home his 2nd win of the season.
We know a lot of people are spread out right now. We got a bit of a battle for 4th shaping up right now, and this is pretty important. Raw Gator, who's been the guy who's been making a significant improvement so far in the season based off the beginning, he's trying to get around our current points leader drive-through, and that would be huge in that aspect just because that he is the points leader. Gator, if he can get around him right here, which I think he may, he has a little bit better car in drive-through, I think, he'll be able to close the overall points championship gap.
Oh, Rogator went high up the racetrack trying to cut down low underneath the 77 car drive-through, side by side now.
Moved by Gator, but drive-through, he just had the drive off the corner to make that happen. And Gator, he has the right ability. He just caught him not too long ago, so I'm sure he's got a few tricks up his sleeve to try to get this 4th spot.
And this will probably, I believe, right now is the only battle taking place as we are now 10 laps remaining here in the MDKBase.com 200 here at Michigan. Normal entered in this race, 4th in points, 29 points behind, so I believe he's only going to gain maybe 1 position or 1 point on a drive-through, but hey, at this rate, any point or every point matters.
Let's just go back to one guy we were talking about earlier. Even though that battle for 4th is shaping up, getting really interesting right now. How about Bren Littell? He is having a great day right now, running in the 3rd spot. He hasn't really had anyone around him. He's just kind of been by himself for the second half of this race. But good job for him, especially because he's kind of towards the back half of the points right now, and he's trying to definitely catch himself back up to where Darian and Joseph Lundberg are, and this is a great points day for him.
Absolutely, specifically, and when you look at where the 00 car is racing, where the 25 and the 88 car, where they're racing, they're way in the back of the pack. So he's going to gain a good amount of points on those drivers up ahead.
And we got an 85 and 77 side by side again, and Gator, he's trying to make this outside pass work. He's going to be able to pull it off here, going into 1 and 2.
Sort of reminds me a lot of the battle between the 1 and the 8 car, where the driver on the outside lane is trying to get the run off the corner, trying to stay side by side, but the driver on the inside just pulls away. But this time, the 85 car of Raw Gator makes the outside lane work and clears him for 4th place.
By him too, that once he got clear of drive-through, he pulled down to the inside of the racetrack and made sure that drive-through didn't get any sort of run or draft on him coming off that corner. Was able to break that draft. Really crafty veteran moves by Gator.
Absolutely. And a little update right now on fuel. Really, there's no issue with the fuel so far. Joey Stone, the race leader, it was 7 laps to go. He is 4 laps to the good, so all these drivers should be good on fuel. Just a little update if anyone else didn't know.
Yeah, it'll be about a full run for all of these guys, but no one should be in question in making it regarding fuel. At it again for 4th place, so they're trying to give us something to keep us entertained and commentate about, but they're putting on a show right here, and this is pretty important too, as far as for Gator, just trying to make up a points gap.
Yeah, these drivers, these guys have been battling for about a handful of laps so far. Drive-through takes the lead once again as they cross our finish line. Raw Gator trying to get down to the inside. Nothing. Yeah, he's gonna stay in line behind him. The 77 car jumps up a bit. The 85, and now the 77 trying to do the same move that Raw Gator did when he passed him, trying to break that draft. Go to the inside, trying to get away from him.
Well, you got Sloppy Joe up front who just took 5 together. Like, please don't wreck you two. Please don't wreck. You're the only 2 guys that are on track that are somewhat close to each other. And if a caution comes out, I know it's going to be like both of you two that brought it out.
He is just praying for them. Like, he's hoping just one of the 2 drivers just pass him and get away.
Right on his back bumper again.
Ooh, wow. Oh,
really loose.
Really loose. We have a feeling, I know there are some people in the comments, they're hoping that these 2 wreck to bring out a caution to hope for a Homestead version 2. And Joey's the only one that's hoping no caution. Everyone else wants a caution.
I do want to mention to you, by the way, that ever since What If had that unfortunate physics glitch on pit road, What If he has maintained that gap overall, and if anything, he's had a net gain over Sloppy of about half a second, maybe a full second. So we're really unfortunate on the effect of Brian Pasternak, and unfortunately, you just can't help one of those things, and I definitely understand his frustration.
As the lead pack of Joey Stone, he just took 3 laps to go here at Michigan, but we're going to keep our camera on this battle for 4th place between the 85 and the 77, as these drivers are still going at it. Right here.
See what happens right there. I think Gator, he did a good job of not drifting up, but that's going to allow the 77 to get a good run coming off the corner.
Here comes drive-through to the high lane now.
That was a great run. That was a great run off the corner drive-through had. That surprised me a little bit. He didn't even need a side draft Gator at all.
He's going to try and make it stick on the outside lane. The 85 car getting get a really good run through the center of the corner. Slides up.
Slight touch. Slight touch. We're still going.
So good. Meanwhile, 2 laps to go for the leaders. Drive-through goes up top now. Trying to get the run through the high lane. Goes up.
Pretty good job of keeping that thing wound up. Let's see if he can get another monster run here off too. He's doing a pretty good job of doing that right here.
Ooh, but a contact, it looked like almost made contact.
Yeah, white flag.
All right, white flag. 1 lap to go. Presented by Black Flags Matter for the 8 car of Joey Stone. He entered in this race 7th in points. He gained 4 spots from his win last weekend at Kansas. And so far, he's just doing what he's supposed to do. Gained max amount of points. You see, the 38 car got way loose off of turn 2. Won't affect Joey Stone's run as he makes his way through 3 and 4 for the final time. He and the 1 car dominated the entire race, but in the end, Joey Stone off of turn number 4 is going to end up in victorious. Joey Stone wins the MDKBase.com 200, scores his 2nd win of the season as the 38 car of Jake Bassinger spins. Meanwhile, back in for 4th place.
Gator got back around drive-through here. They were both below the white line down the back straightaway, but Gator's going to hold this one off.
And Trey Normal gets 4th place, drive-through in 5th. Wow, but congratulations to the 8 car of Joey Stone. His win was fueled by Unloaded Cube 88. Congratulations to him. And to be honest, what a race. Even though it's still got a bit stale near the end. Very, very impressive race indeed from the 8 car Joey Stone practically throughout the entire rest of the field.
Overall, I think that it definitely would have been a much entertaining race had, unfortunately we not have the 704 glitch, pit road glitch. I don't know, it's just kind of frustrating, I don't really recall having this glitch existing in future NASCAR Heat games. It's just been a really big issue here in Heat 4. I know in the previous previous update they claimed to have fixed it, but obviously it's still pretty terrible.
Yeah. Alright, so let's take a look now at the unofficial results here after tonight's race. So Joey Stone wins. 2nd place is Brian Pasternak. 3rd is Brendan Littell. 4th is Raw Gator or Trey Normal. 5th is Drive Thru, in a great battle between those two people. 6th place is Darren Gillum. 7th is Cody Hicken. 8th is Jarrett Lundberg. 9th is Michael Cosi Jr. 10th is Jake Baskinger. And 11th place is Ray Jacobs. So, any final thoughts before we go off?
Great race overall. About what I expected. If we were going to have a long green flag run here, especially for the remainder of the race, the guys would really start to get spread out, and we wouldn't really necessarily see the pack racing. But we definitely saw that in the beginning of the runs, especially right after cautions. Guys they weren't afraid to mix it up. It's things that we absolutely love to see. And overall, even though we got a long green flag run there at the end, it was a pretty clean run by everybody. And even though we kind of wish that we could have seen the top 2 mix it up a little bit more, and it wasn't anything by those guys' fault at all that caused that separation. Still saw the top 2 cars finish 1-2.
Absolutely. The first half was incredible racing from everyone, as you just said.
I wish my voice was a bit better, so I've gotten a bit more hyped. But I'm like, oh, there he goes. But I can't get too loud, or else my voice just starts straining. But this is an amazing race to call, and I can't wait to go. Where are we going next week?
Next Friday. It's on a Friday, I believe, at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to the last great Coliseum, Bristol Motor Speedway, under the lights. It should be a very
Friday night lights at the Coliseum.
I believe, yeah.
That is gonna be quite the race.
Should we announce who we're having on the Prairie Show, or should we just wait till Friday? What do you think?
I think we should just wait and keep it a surprise.
Okay, let's get. All right, we have a very special guest on Friday. We're gonna wait till we air that episode there. It should be a lot of fun there. But congratulations to Joey Stone, your winner of the 2019 MDKBase.com 200 from the Michigan International Speedway. For Cody Workman and everyone that worked on the quarterly, my name is Jack Krause. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next Friday at the last great Coliseum, Friday night lights at Bristol.